Decade of experience across HR, career services, entrepreneurship, and business development. Over the past 10 plus years, she has coached 2,500 plus professionals and early stage founders across diverse industries to pivot careers, transition confidently, and build profitable, purpose-driven businesses without burning out in the process. Her work blends strategic clarity with deep empathy, helping people move from uncertainty to ownership of their careers and wealth. Ibiemi is the founder of Foot in the Door and Foot Out the Door Consulting. They're consulting platforms dedicated to helping professionals build work that matters. She is a certified career strategist and holds an MBA in entrepreneurship and social innovation. She has been a featured speaker and coaching partner with organizations including Black Founder Network, Black Professionals in Tech, and Toast, Women in Tech Community, and several others, supporting professionals through career transitions, leadership development, and entrepreneurship. As the convener of the Return, Ibiemi brings her expertise in transitions to a deeply personal journey, coming home. Having returned to Nigeria after years abroad, she understands firsthand the practical, emotional, and identity shifts that accompany reintegration, from rebuilding careers and businesses to reestablishing community and belonging. Through the Return, she is creating a space where members of the diaspora can gain clarity, confidence, and connection as they navigate the homecoming journey and begin building life and wealth on their own terms. Please welcome Ibiemi.
Thank you. I realized that I updated the bio and that was, anyways, we're here, it's fine. You know me. So the first conversation is just my story. It's a very emotional story, so I have my tissues, because I haven't been able to tell the story yet without crying, but bear with me. But I grew up in Lagos, like I'm assuming most of you here, and growing up in Lagos, I was obviously very sheltered. Parents didn't really allow us to do a lot of extracurricular activities other than, going to school and, swimming. Yes, I remember swimming. But at 16 years old, in 2008, which is a long time ago, I got on a flight and I went to Toronto, Canada, as a 16-year-old. And it was terrifying, like, truthfully. I think about it now and I guess that was just, they thought it was great to do, right? I know a lot of our parents, sent us off when we were quite young. What was interesting though was I remember that 90% of my graduating class in Grange actually went to the UK. And there were like maybe 2 or 3 of us that went to Canada. So I remember thinking, oh, the UK girlies and guys, they're good. They all go to the same schools, A-levels. They're all, rocking together. And the Canadians, we were few and far between. But yes, anyways, I went to school, graduated, went to university, graduated. I came out of school, and my plan was to come back home eventually. I think that I was a bit nervous about coming back home because obviously at that point I had been gone for about 7 years. And I just didn't feel ready. So I remember like looking for internships and like looking for work because I was like, if I have a job, then I don't have to go back immediately. Or let me just get an internship and work for a bit and then I'll come back to Nigeria and I'll be like well developed, all of that. Anyways, I got an internship, yay. Very exciting. And then 3 months later, I got laid off. It was the craziest experience because I remember messaging my entire family, guys, I'm in Toronto, I have a job, everything is good. 3 months later, I did not have a job, nothing was good. I was like, okay, well, let me look for another job. Luckily, I was able to get another job in 3 weeks. So this is giving 2015, 2025, 2026. It's a different story, but yeah, I was able to get a job. It was great. What was a 4-month internship turned into the extended it. I got promoted. I moved around. I was there for 4 years. Anyways, Aisha spent another 10 years in Toronto. And this brings us to 2023. So let me paint you the picture of where I was mentally. Actually, let me give you the description of the circumstances. It was 2023. I had finished my MBA in 2021. Literally the day after I submitted my last paper, I got a call for a job, for like a senior leadership role. And this was going to be my first senior leadership role. So I took it because, after doing a very rigorous MBA, the best thing to do is get a brand new job as a senior leader. It just made sense, right? You go to school, you get the MBA, you get that high flying job. I was not ready. I was very tired because I was working full time and doing my MBA full time and also running my business. I should have taken a break. And I think this is something that we're going to be talking about throughout today, just this idea of burnout. But I didn't take a break. I went right into that role. And I started building it out. What they didn't tell me was the reason the role was open and available and very quick. I was supposed to have a team of 5, and we were supposed to, just take the department to a new level. When I started, the team of 5 was actually non-existent. Yeah. It was wild. The director was on maternity leave. The executives, they had fired. They had gotten rid of the entire program. The coordinator, when I started 2 weeks later, she was putting in her 2 weeks because she had already gotten another job. And I was the manager. So I came in with absolutely no team and no sort of history on this particular function. And I came in thinking, okay, I'm going to learn. And then, I'm going to build out some things. I had my first meeting with the interim director, and he says, so what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, okay. Here are my ideas. And literally, I had a blank piece of paper. And it was good because I am very entrepreneurial, but it was also terrifying because I was exhausted already. So anyways, I did what I do as a first daughter in a Nigerian home. I got my shit together. And I hired the entire team. I wrote all the manuals. I redid all of our career services. So I had to rewrite 67 different templates. I had to essentially direct all of the strategy for that entire department. And I was still doing the coaching. I was still doing the coaching and all of the sales for the department, so bringing employers on campus to meet our students.
It was 6 jobs. Literally, it was 6 jobs for one person. So I did it, but I did it well. We did it with a smile and a word and was sarcastic. It was great. And then at the sprayed up place day 3, I raised Japada. Long story short, as now though, mentally, physically, actually, I was to the point where my very traditional Nigerian parents were worried about Nurbetapa. And a year before, the mom had said, Kampo, take a break. So I mean, at the end, I'm doing tea, I part to Kampo. Well, unfortunately, that was what I had to be. Right. That burnout led me to going on medical leave. And it's just Blu-rays. That was big testing the happy me. I think that was one really good thing about living in Canada. Was it also needed to actually take time off. Was a pound. So that process was rigorous. It wasn't that shoe over. And we did take 3 months off. And in those 3 months, everything became crystal clear. My hands stopped shaking, my head stopped hurting, my stomach stopped hurting. I could sit there for the first time in years of just back to back to back to back. And I remember I called up my financial advisor and I said, if I was to quit my job, how long can I survive? And he says, you're pretty good. You could survive a year and a half. But really, he meant, yeah. say that investor comes to your place, so follow up and send a tablet. And that's what I did. So November of 2023, I booked a one-way ticket to Lagos. And my plan was, okay, I'll home for Christmas, I'll skip winter, I'll get back to Toronto about April, March. I didn't end up going back in September. So that was 2024. 2024 was honestly the best year of my life, truthfully. Not only did I get to rest, I got to recover, I got to build relationships. We went to primary school together, and we had a release game inspection when I got back to town. I think I did her up, or you could be, I don't know how it happened. And then, yeah, she became a huge part of my community. Thursday night at the party, if you know, do you know? She got kicked 5 pounds. No, she said, but I said she was like big at the party. But something shifted in me. Being hope for, I guess, my life.
Home for 9 months at the time was, it rewired something inside of me. It really did, and I'm seeing a lot of people nodding because you know what it means. But at that time, I was not planning to move to Nigeria. That's crazy. I mean, everybody is literally trying to japa. Like, everyone's looking for that opportunity, that job, that business, that marriage, whatever it is, right? To leave Lagos. It didn't really cross my mind that I was going to be moving to Nigeria. Even though my friends had said it, they're like, you're going to go, you're going to like it, and you're not going to come back. And I was like, watch me come back. Anyways, I went back to Toronto, and it was not the same. The 16-year-old, the 20-year-old me, the 25-year-old me, the 30-year-old me, like, she just didn't exist in that same way. And thus begins the identity crisis of, okay, well, this doesn't fit anymore, and like, am I really going to move to Nigeria? This is wild. How do you even navigate those two things? So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this bicontinental life. I'll live in 2 places. It's fine. It's not that deep. We're modern women. We can figure it out. And then I did. I went back and forth for 2 years. And then 6 months ago, one of my aunts sat me down. Literally sat me down. I thought it was a cute little brunch. She had an agenda. And her agenda was, this back and forth you're doing, pick one. And the one you should pick is Nigeria. And that was 6 months ago. And then she says, you're going to come back and you're going to put an event on to help other people come back. And I remember thinking, based on what's like, I'm not qualified, I don't have anything to say, I'm just moving back, everything is upside down, I don't even really know what's happening. And she was like, exactly. Because everybody that is in that space, they're going to see you and they're going to understand that, like, it's messy, but you can do it if you want to. So that's how this whole event came together. I was lovingly bullied into it, but I'm glad I was. I'm excited to, hear from you guys today to, really talk about what it is to navigate that transition. I tried to bring someone in that talks about mental health, but she wasn't available, so it's fine. We'll just talk about what that looks like for us. Today is really more of an intimate session. I didn't want 1 million people in here. I didn't want it to be this massive thing. I just wanted it to be a group of people connecting, having conversations. So that's my story. Thank you. Wow, I did not cry. I was texting. I was doing some chat GPT, and I was like, every single time, it's like, just keep it lean. Don't go into the details about your health. Like, you're well now. It's okay. And I didn't, and that's the key.